Welcome to Facebook Live, Ask Admissions. My name is Jordan Stevenson. I'm the Interim Director of Student Recruitment in the Office of Undergraduate Admissions. We have a very special guest with us tonight.
Woo, Salazik Spratlin. I'm an academic advisor in the University College Advising Services Department.
Awesome.
Almost as long of a title as ours.
Yeah.
Actually, might be longer.
Yes. And I am Jacinta Luster, Senior Admissions Counselor in the Office of Undergraduate Admissions. So we're really excited that you're here. You guys.
Yeah.
You guys.
It's not my show.
These guys.
I'm excited that you guys, you folks
guys,
are here as
all.
well. Yep.
Awesome.
Yes, let's be inclusive. Y'all or folks. This is a special night. We are excited to have Salazik with us.
Thank you very much.
Most students, most families ask us about advisement. At some point in the admissions process, they're already thinking about that next step. And advisement is key to your academic success throughout your time earning your bachelor's degree and arguably beyond, professional school, graduate school, and so on. So we're going to talk through really some from the expert here, Salazik. Put a lot of pressure on
I know,
him.
right?
Yeah, but we're going to hear from the expert tonight about really the way that you as a student should approach advisement and what advisement does to support your college journey. First off, I want to, this may work out. I'm going to coin this phrase right now. Somebody else may think it's terrible, but I'm going to throw it out there. So it's fully on me. This was Jordan's decision. But I'm calling this segment of Ask Admissions on Facebook Live as important things in the nest. There's a couple of my owls in the nest here. I love it. Thank y'all.
You're
Perfect.
welcome.
So next time we're going to have a nest here on the desk.
Everything needs a theme song.
And some baby owls, yeah. A theme song would be great.
like it. I'll
Some
work
cool
on that.
graphics right now. Maybe a nest bouncing across the screen. So, important things in the nest, things that you should know. Partially why we're doing this is so that and we're doing this monthly so that you can keep up to date with all the really cool things that's going on here at KSU, but also so you stay on track with applications, with where you are in the process, with if you're admitted, what do I do next? So I've got some things to share with you. First and foremost, if you have not come to one of our open houses, these are the best days to get every aspect of campus knocked out in one session in one day. So please sign up for open house. We have 4 open houses this spring. We're doing them in February, March, and April. And you can sign up by going to admissions.kennesaw.edu/open house. So again, admissions.kennesaw.edu/open house. We have 2 on each campus. So if you want to come to the Marietta campus or you want to come to the Kennesaw campus based on your intended major, or as we're finding, a lot of people want to see both. So we have families showing up to both campuses, check out both campuses. Maybe you're interested in multiple degree programs, then please show up to both. Why not, right? It's only your time. And so we do these on Saturdays, and they're completely free. And you get to eat in the Commons or in Stingers, so you get some really, really good food. When's the last time you
Very
ate
good.
in the Commons or Stingers?
About 3 weeks ago.
Oh,
and it
perfect.
was delicious.
Yeah. Do you remember what you had?
I had chicken.
Chicken?
Absolutely.
Was it on Fried Chicken
Fried
Thursday?
chicken Thursday.
Oh,
And
yeah.
mac and cheese.
The
Yes.
dream. Okay, lovely, yummy. So if you want to experience this, you need to come for open house. Okay. Number 2, if you're an admitted student, then I encourage you to check your email. You should have gotten an email about our accepted student drop-in days. We're doing those in February, in March, and in April, and that's a chance for you to come in. Ask those very particular questions to you. So a lot of times we find that students and families, students that have been admitted, they want to come in and visit, but they just have one big question or 2 big questions like, how do I sign up for orientation? I need a little help. What's my financial aid award going to be? I want to talk to a financial aid counselor. So that's what you would do at our accepted student drop-in days. We'll also have advisement available during those days as well. So you can go ahead and kind of get a pre-look at what you should do when you come for orientation over the summer so that you're ready to hit the ground running when you come for your orientation session. So check your email, admitted students, about signing up for our accepted student drop-in days. I know we've got a couple questions. Let me get through a couple of these other important things in the nest. Right now, it's spring sports season, so go to ksuowls.com. Check out all of our different athletic teams that are playing this spring. I'm excited. We've got baseball tomorrow night. We're always fantastic in baseball, and we're taking on our state rivals, UGA. We're going to be, I know, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Owls can fly, dogs just wander on the ground. So way big difference being able to fly. Also, well, dogs are smart too, but owls are way smarter. So please, come see baseball play tomorrow night. They're going to be on campus at KSU 5 p.m. So check it out. That's just one example of what's going on at KSU right now. Also, campus tours. So if you haven't been for a campus tour, I can't tell you how many times I talked to a student that has been admitted and they haven't even been on campus yet. And that one, I'm just happy that you've applied and you've been admitted, but it hurts my heart a little bit. I want you to be able to make an informed decision. So please sign up for a campus tour. Easy to do. You go to visit.kennesaw.edu. So visit.kennesaw.edu, and you can sign up for a campus tour. We do them on both campuses all throughout the week as well as on Saturdays. So check out, see which time works best for you. And then the last thing I'm going to share, and then we're going to get to your questions, is that we've got two big deadlines coming up. We've got a summer deadline. That's April the 1st. So if you're looking to come for the summer, you're maybe a new freshman, you want to get started earlier, or you're transferring from another institution, or maybe you're an adult learner, you're out there watching this right now, and you're thinking, I should go back to school. Then we need you to apply by April the 1st. So I came up with like a dad pun, and that's don't be a fool, apply before April 1st. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be the not cool guy up here. It's a dad pun. It's a dad pun. That's why it has a name. So don't be a fool. Apply by April 1 for the summer. And then for fall, our deadline is June the 1st for freshmen and June the 14th for transfer students, adult learners, all of our other populations. So check those deadlines out. We've got them there on our admissions website, admissions.kennesaw.edu. All right, I think we've got some questions, and then we'll find out a little more about Salasic. We're going to ask him to tell us all about himself, how he got here, why he loves what he does, all that kind of stuff. So hang tight. All right.
All right, our first question comes from Gianni. She wanted to know, what is the best way to get ready for the computing placement test?
Oh, wow. Well, Gianni, I've got a degree in religion, so... I've got a computer right here, boop, beep, boop, beep, but I would be terrible at giving you advice to get ready for a computing placement test. Yes. Anybody else?
Yeah. So, I know, right?
Jump right in.
I know, right?
We're ready for
Expert.
Yes.
That's not something we get often, but if you want to, there's a couple of sites you can go to. If you want to come by our office, we'll be more than happy to kind of help you get those sites, and so that you can be ready for that placement test.
And I would also probably say testing too. You can probably go online. They have resources for students. So if there's, you need a refresher on something like algebra and things like that, you could probably find some math classes or math questions there as well. Okay. Yeah.
All right, next question. Are there any plans to have a pre-health advisor that specializes in helping students who want to go to medical school, dental school, or PA school? Students in the College of Science and Mathematics lack that resource that a lot of other schools in Georgia provide.
Great question, and I'll field it.
Detailed question.
Yes.
I know, very detailed.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
it.
yeah.
That shows the greatness of our students, the detailedness. So currently, what you would want to do is have a conversation with someone in my office, University College Advising Services. We don't currently have someone designated for that type of advisement. In my department, we would be more than happy to kind of help you through that process. I don't know that we'll be working to bring someone on. I think that's a great idea. I think that's something maybe that we can have a conversation about. But in the interim, you can come to University College Advising Services. We're in Willingham Hall, room 202. We'll be more than happy to kind of help you through those things.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, our next question comes from Mr. Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
He said he was a student for 2 years and ran out of money to pay for school. Okay. He has exhausted his max semesters allowed off before being dropped by the United States Air Force. Would it be possible or easier to come back as an online student to continue his education?
Repeat the second half of that question if you
Okay.
don't mind. I'm sorry, Daniel.
Sure. Would it be possible to come back, or easier to come back as an online student to continue his education?
And what about the
Okay.
sentence before that?
Okay. I've exhausted my max semesters allowed off before being dropped, so I'm joining the Air Force. Do we need more details?
Yeah, I really need more details.
Okay.
One, Daniel, are you active? I'm sorry.
Daniel,
to
will
pick up
you
on this.
clarify a little bit in the comments if you're active? What else do we need?
Yeah,
What
active
else do we
duty.
need
If
to
you're
know?
active duty or if you're a reservist, because what I want to do is, one, will help you in terms of giving you some financial aid resources, but also we want to get you in touch with our Military and Veterans Services office, because they are incredible resources that know, they have more contacts, they know the process about getting benefits for whether you're active duty or a reservist, or if you're going to go, if this is going to be your first time into the military. And we want to make sure that you get plugged in with them, because they're going to be, your resource, your primary resource here on campus, but also they're going to be a real big advocate for you. And we really take pride in serving our military and our veteran students. And we have a fantastic Military and Veteran Service office that would love to help you out. So feel free, you can email me directly. My email is jsteve, S-T-E-V-E, 51, so jsteve51 at kennesaw.edu. Feel free to shoot me an email, or also post here on Facebook Live, and we'll make sure we get your questions answered with a little more detail.
Yeah, he just said he's active duty, or he will be going active duty.
Okay.
Okay, so shoot us an
Perfect.
email, Daniel. Okay.
Yeah, because that'll definitely help with the conversation with Military and Veteran Services.
Perfect. Okay. So next, our question comes from Mark. What would we?
Hey, Mark.
Sorry, guys. My timing is very awkward. Excuse me. What do we do exactly at the drop-in when it comes to the advisement area? So I guess if they're coming in for walk-ins, what do they do?
Right.
Yes.
Just simply come in. I tell my students all the time to make sure that you are as prepared as you want us to be prepared, okay? So come in with your questions, come in with your notes, come in with anything that you really need to be prepared so you can ask all the questions you want to. Currently, we're not doing walk-ins in University College Advising Services. We will probably be doing those over into the summer, going into the fall. But currently in my department, you can only make appointments. You can only see an advisor by making an appointment. So, and you can do that a couple of ways. You can do that by logging on to AliExpress, clicking on the Student Services tab, and then going to the fifth, I think it's the fifth from the bottom, EAB SSC Advising, and that will take you to the advising portal so you can make an appointment. Or you can go to advising.kennesaw.edu.
Perfect. And if you're newly admitted and you want to come for one of our accepted student drop-in days, then we will have some on-site advisement there. And those days are going to be on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays during specific weeks in February, March, and April. So have you or your student check out the email that you should have received this afternoon.
Okay. Mark also wants to know when the second phase for housing opens up, and I don't believe there is a second phase. I believe housing is just open and spaces are...
So once a student's been accepted, you will log into your housing portal and you will choose. So since we're rolling admissions, it's whenever you've been admitted, that's when you can complete your application for housing. So there's no phase, it's just whenever you have been accepted to KSU.
Okay. Next, our question is from Denise.
Hi, Denise.
Hey,
Denise.
I allowed plenty of time
right?
that time. Wonderful. She wants to know.
Oh, by the way, sorry. I want to know where people are from too. So tell Becca when you're typing in.
Leave it in the comments.
Or you're on your phone. Like, tell us where you're from.
Yeah.
You know, we want to know if you're down the street in Marietta or actually we're in Marietta right now. Marietta's a big city. If you don't know, Marietta's I grew up in Marietta. It's a big city. So, or if you're in Savannah, or if you're in,
Augusta?
Osaka, Japan. I don't know where you are, but I don't know. You let us know. That'd be great.
Noted.
Cool.
So Denise, where we don't know where she's from. Hey, Denise. Okay. How do you know when you have been approved for Hope Scholarship?
Oh, that's a great question. You want to
Yeah.
take it?
So when it comes to Hope, once you've graduated high school, your final high school transcript, if you're an incoming freshman, your final high school transcript will go to financial aid, and financial aid will then determine if you are Hope eligible or Zell Miller eligible. And then if you're a continuing student or a transfer student, Hope is checked at 30 hours, 60 hours, and 90 hours. So that will all be approved through the financial aid office. And if you have very specific questions about when my Hope will be approved, what does my aid look like, the great thing about our office is that our financial aid office has financial aid counselors. And so when you go to financialaid.kennesaw.edu. Down at the very bottom to your left, there will be something that says contact us, and it'll have a list of every single financial aid counselor based on your last name here at KSU, and you can email them. They're very fast. I talk to them a lot because I have students who have questions. So you can just email them, and they are more than happy to answer your questions specifically to your situation and not just general like myself sometimes. So definitely contact your financial aid counselor. They're wonderful and they're there to help.
Right. And even right now, if you want to go onto either our financial aid website or the admissions website, there's on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, there's an Ask Scrappy. Scrappy is our person in a costume mascot. Scrappy, not Sturgis, the physical owl, right? So you can actually ask Scrappy these questions and get some really detailed answers, which is really cool. So if it's like midnight and this question pops up as you're eating like a bowl of Lucky Charms or something, which I hope to be doing when I get home tonight, then I got a thing for Lucky Charms right now.
They're magically delicious.
They are. Then it's almost St. Patrick's Day. Then you just pop in there and ask Scrappy, and you can get your questions answered. It's pretty cool.
So Denise is an alum from 1999.
Whoa!
That's really cool. That's really
party
cool.
Like it's 1999. I bet you did, Denise, when you graduated.
Okay. Next, Sherry. Sherry's our next question. She didn't. I think that was before we said, tell us where you're from.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were
Okay.
gonna sing.
We can't sing.
Oh.
Okay,
Can't
no
sing
singing.
songs.
I
Okay.
bet Sherry knows which song we would sing.
She says her daughter's coming in the fall and she's so excited.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And so this isn't even a question. This is just nice. They're pleased with everything and it's super fun. So thanks, Sherry.
Hey.
Great.
Where you from, Sherry?
Okay. Mandy, a parent of an incoming freshman. They signed up for a drop-in day in March.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Mandy.
Thanks, Mandy. What can we expect at Advisement on that day? Will he be able to find out what classes he should register for at orientation?
So the first part first. We will talk about course selection. We will talk about majors. We can have a conversation about if you're looking at a couple of majors, we can talk about that kind of stuff. As it relates to orientation, you will get to register if you come to one of those orientations. And that's one of the beauties about coming to one of those orientations. The good thing is we would hope you would come and have a conversation with us in UCAS first so that when you get to orientation, you'll know what you're registering for. And so I tell students all the time, if they are coming to one of the orientations, come and have a pre-orientation advising appointment in my office. And that way we can get you all squared away. So when you're in orientation, you know exactly what you're going to take.
So that actually brings up a question for me, Salasic. So this student comes for one of these drop-in days, right? Let's say you happen to be on duty.
I'm that guy.
Let's say, does he need to bring his high school transcript with him? Does he need to bring, what do you expect him to actually physically have with him that would aid him in this conversation with you?
Having that information would be great, right? But we get it. Not all students are going to come with that. And so if you come with a general idea of a major, or if you come with a general idea of a type of career, we can kind of help you through that process. The thing that I really like about those is that we're able to really answer those questions one-on-one because we have that time that we can do that. And it really just prepares those students for the ignition orientations. So just come with any questions. If you have any AP or AB advanced placement or international baccalaureate, I think, you can come with that information. But come with questions, come with majors in mind, just come with whatever you want to have questions or answers to, come with those questions.
Okay.
Cool.
Awesome. Another comment, this is a nice one. Colleen says Mr. Stevenson has always been very kind and prompt in answering questions, and she will continue at KSU this fall. I think she was dual enrollment as well.
Nice.
So there you go.
Colleen.
We love our dual enrollees.
Yeah, a nice little shout out.
Thank you. Hooty hooty you, Colleen.
Okay. Monica is our next question.
From?
She didn't say. Pre. See, we're a little delayed. We got a lot of questions, so they'll start coming in.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Question.
I see at the bottom they started. I'm from Douglasville. I'm from here, so we'll get there.
Opelika, Alabama.
Hey.
Okay, so this one from Monica. If the student has applied for HOPE through Georgia Futures, does he also need to apply for FAFSA? We do not qualify for financial aid other than HOPE.
Let me tackle this
Yes.
because I love this question because I share a personal story about why a student should always fill out the FAFSA. Each year, fill out the FAFSA. Okay, so to directly answer your question, HOPE HOPE or Zell Miller, so whichever one your student's ultimately going to qualify for, is ultimately determined by Georgia Student Finance, which is when a student goes to georgiafutures.org, if you've ever been there, you probably have, then that's where a student can look up their HOPE eligibility. Sometimes you can request a high school transcript that way. You can learn about colleges that way. You can learn about financing your college education that way. So HOPE and Zell Miller are ultimately qualified by Georgia Student Finance. A student can fill out the HOPE application that's housed at gafutures.org. And that is, what's great about the HOPE application is you only have to do it once. So as your student's transitioning from high school to college, you fill out the HOPE application, and this is what a high school counselor would advise you to do. You fill out the HOPE application, you only have to submit it once. So let's say your student gets to sophomore year, you don't fill out the HOPE application, but you do fill out the FAFSA each year, and all of a sudden they don't fill out the FAFSA. And what happens? You roll into that next fall, and your student should have the HOPE scholarship, and oops, they don't. And then they have to scramble. So I recommend that, honestly, that students do both. Fill out the HOPE application the first time. That way you do it in that transition from high school to college. And then every year, I recommend a student should fill out the FAFSA. I always say it this way. You could be a student that's going to fully support yourself with no family support. You're single, you're full Pell eligible student. You can be from lower socioeconomic means all the way to extreme high socioeconomic means, like your usher's kids. I usually say that because we are here in Atlanta. I used to say Michael Jordan's kids. I think that may have timed out somewhat. But you could be uber rich. You could be Arthur Blank's kids. That's a good Atlanta one. And where you would argue Arthur Blank's kids are not going to qualify for any kind of government aid. But that's actually not true. So any student, no matter the EFC, expected family contribution, no matter the family's income, any student can qualify for student loans. And so when I went to college, between my freshman year and my sophomore year, my dad happened to lose his job. And it was really, although I would have been just fine, I would have survived, but it was kind of a tumultuous time in my family's life. I had not filled out a FAFSA. We had to scramble. I had to go in and see a financial aid counselor at the institution I attended for my bachelor's. It was way past what the financial aid office had called the deadline for the FAFSA. And I had to scramble and fill this thing out that I'd never filled out. So it was really stressful. And if I had just filled out the FAFSA when the FAFSA had opened in this normal time period, which, by the way, it's been open since October 1 of last year for this next cycle, so fall all the way through summer of 2020, then I would have been in much better shape and would have had immediate access to things that I needed, like student loans, or if I qualified for grants and or work study. So long story short, even if you're Michael Jordan's kids or Usher's kids or Arthur Blank's kids, I still recommend that a student fill out the FAFSA. But to wrap it all around, that's ultimately how a student can be qualified for the HOPE or Zell Miller, is that you either have the HOPE application on file with Georgia Student Finance or you fill out a FAFSA every year. So I recommend you do both.
Okay. Next is a question from Jonathan. They want to know if they retake a class and get a better grade, would it replace the former grade or would the previous grade still count?
Yes.
I love how we both look at you.
So KSU's repeat policy is exactly what you just said. If you take calculus, math 11 and 9, you had a bad semester, you hung out too much, you joined a fraternity, and you let your grades go, right? And you make an F in that math 1190 course, and you need it for your major, or you just need the F to be gone, if you will. Our repeat policy is that if you retake the exact same course and you make the better grade, we will replace the bad grade with the better grade. So yes, if you repeat a course and you make a better grade, we replace the bad grade with the better grade.
Okay. Nice. Great. Okay. Aretha wants to know when the dorm selections will be approved, if we do know that.
So I would.
Sorry. So Lacey and I were trying to figure out
I can't do
an
this.
Aretha song, but
Sorry.
No, right? And I had so many ready.
you
but,
should have fired away.
I
'cause
couldn't.
My voice wasn't going to do it justice.
Sorry, Aretha. So
Yes.
what I would say is you would want to contact housing to ask them about dorm selection, when you would hear back about when you're approved for the housing that you're choosing, whether it's on the Kennesaw campus or the Marietta campus. I would talk to housing specifically about that, when that selection would happen for you.
I'll make sure that we answer that question later on. So if you don't
Yeah,
have
if
the
you-
time to shoot an email off to housing tonight,
Yeah.
we'll get that answer for you and post it up on
Yes.
Facebook.
Email us.
Okay, Nicholas has more of a statement, and maybe we just need to direct his email. So he submitted everything for to be accepted to the university, and everything still says incomplete. Who should he contact?
You can contact me. So you can email me. I'll just go ahead and put my email out there because Jordan always puts his out there. So you can email me. My first name is Jacinta, and my last name is Luster, Luster. So my email address is jluster3@kennesaw.edu. And if you will email me your first name, your last name, and if you have your KSU ID number on file, that'd be great. That way I can look you up fairly quickly and let you know what your file looks like at this point. Yep.
Let me tell you, let me add to what Jacinta said, and I won't do this all night, I promise. I seem to jump in on every question.
It's okay.
That's not typical, but because
appreciate
Jacinta's extremely thorough. So says Jordan.
No, I appreciate
But right now, just to give you a heads up where the timeline of how we're processing applications right now, this is heavy season, which is wonderful, and that doesn't directly answer your question, and it doesn't make you feel any better. But where we are is right now it's taking about 3 to 4 weeks after the time that a student has completed their application. So once we've gotten, if you've applied, and let's say you're a transfer student, you turned in your college transcript, maybe you have one, maybe you have two, and hopefully if you had more than 30 credit hours, you don't need to turn in your high school transcript or test scores from high school, your SAT or ACT, then it's still about 3 to 4 weeks because we have to go through thousands and thousands of documents that we're receiving for students. So we are right now processing students in the order that we receive documents, and once their file is complete, we're working through that fashion right now. Same thing for students that if you're applying as a freshman and we get your high school transcript, we get your test scores in. So we are rolling admissions for transfer students, for freshmen, for transfer freshmen. So as soon as your file is complete, we are trying our best to quickly work through these and give out decisions.
Yes.
Okay. Next is a follow-up question for advising. Okay. If they sign up for phone advising, do they put their cell phone number in the comment box so they can receive a phone call?
Sure. Put whatever number you want us to reach back out to you with, okay? So if it's your cell phone or if it's your home phone, do people still have landlines?
My mom still has a landline.
Does she?
Yeah.
Oh, bless her heart. So whatever phone that you want us to make contact with, put that number in and we'll make sure that we give you a call for the appointment.
Does your mom still have a VCR?
We still have a VCR, but it's the one where you can digitize your family videos. So you can still watch your old VHS tapes, but you can also have family photos on a DVD. So
How nice.
Yes.
How nice. We still have a VCR.
It's great.
Does
I
she
love
have
it.
an
I
8-track
used to
in
watch
her?
all those Disney movies.
Don't
Does
have
she,
an 8-track.
does she have an 8-track in her? I'm sorry.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Great. Okay.
Mom have a pager?
Hold up.
Beep beep. Okay. Next is Miss Catherine.
Thanks, Catherine.
When will you hear back, or when will we hear back if we've applied for a scholarship? Do we know when that application closes?
So,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, so the application for scholarships closed on March 15th. So for those who don't know about scholarships, you have to be accepted first to KSU, and then you will complete the scholarship application. It's basically one umbrella, and then you are matched with scholarships. So our foundation will close it on March 15th and start reviewing those scholarships and letting students know, hopefully within a month or so, if the student has been awarded a scholarship to KSU.
And how does a student apply for a scholarship, Jacinta?
So you go to scholarships.kennesaw.edu. You can actually go there, or you can actually go into your AllExpress account. So one thing I'll notice, we talked about AllExpress account several times, or we mentioned that. Your AllExpress is kind of like your lifeline. That's once you're a KSU student, or even before then, you do everything in your AllExpress account. So you will go onto Student Services, and you can log in and find the scholarship application there. I always tell students, take time to fill out the scholarship because it is timed for you. I believe it's like a 30-minute timer at the top the last time I checked, but make sure that you sit down and you thoroughly fill out the scholarship application so that you get the best scholarships for you. So they're going to be need-based or merit-based for a student, and then we also have just some fun scholarships or major-based scholarships for students. So make sure you take the time to fill out the scholarship application. If they ask for an essay, do the essay. If they want to know what type of extracurricular activities you've been in, list those. Just make sure you're very thorough with the scholarship.
Okay. Okay. I can't read the name, but they're from Douglasville. It looks like it's in a different language. Yeah, Douglasville. Hi from Douglasville. They have their MS in Information Systems and want to do their MS in CS. Do they have to do their GRE? Lots of codes.
Yes. So, of course, we mostly handle undergraduate admission questions, but we have a wonderful graduate admission office who they will definitely be able to help you with letting you know if you need to do the GRE. But each college will break down if they need that specific test for that college.
Yeah, so check out graduate.kennesaw.edu, graduate.kennesaw.edu, and also you can email them at ksugrad@kennesaw.edu because, as Jessica said, each program is very specific in what they require. It may also be certain times of the year that they're asking for more or less, or it just depends on where we are in the application process for a graduate school. But as Jacinta said, we're undergraduate admission, so reach out to ksugrad@kennesaw.edu, or if you post more here in the question, if you have some more details, we can send that over to the grad school for you.
Yes.
Yeah, and the next question pertains to that too, just talking about how do they apply for graduate school. So same email,
Yes.
same contact there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or just email myself or Jordan, and we will be more than happy to get you to the right place.
Okay.
Yes.
But come on, come
Yeah,
to grad
we
school.
want you here.
Yeah.
Kelly is our next question. If someone is interested in the engineering program, do they take classes at both campuses, or are all of those classes at the Marietta location?
Who wants to answer?
I'll take it.
All right,
Nice.
do it. Yes.
So
Participation.
the easy answer is yes. They can take them at both campuses. And so let's say your major is a Marietta-based major, so mechanical engineering, and you want to take courses at both the Kennesaw and the Marietta campus. Even though that major is housed here, you can take some courses. When I say some, I mean particularly your gen ed courses, and there may be some lower division courses within the major that you could take at Kennesaw. However, if your major is housed here, you will be taking majority of your courses on this campus. I mean, it just is what it is. And so we tell students that they can take courses on both campuses. However, where your major is housed, that is where you're going to take the bulk of your courses.
And it's good to take
Yes.
courses on both, just so
Yeah.
that you get on both campuses. And so you're seeing a full view of Kennesaw State and not just being on the Kennesaw campus all the time or just being at the Marietta campus. Because we're one university, we want you guys to experience both campuses. So you may have a smaller class at the Marietta campus or you may have a smaller class at the Kennesaw campus. But I would say when it comes to your lower division classes, like your English 1101 or your college algebra, take classes at both if you can, but make sure that when you're doing your schedule, that you make time to get between both Kennesaw. But you can always ride Bob, which is really nice, so you don't have to move your car.
What's Bob?
Bob, I'm sorry, it is our Big Owl bus.
Yes.
So that is our transit bus that will drive from the Kennesaw campus to Marietta and from Marietta back up to Kennesaw. So it drives all around the area.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if you want to take everything on the Marietta campus, you absolutely
Absolutely
Yes.
could.
Absolutely. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
Xavier from Stone Mountain.
All right.
Okay. The parent of an incoming freshman was wondering when recipients will be notified of their scholarships. And then the second part to that question, would you recommend his daughter to sign up for the day orientation or overnight? And I don't believe we offer an overnight.
Oh,
We do?
overnight.
We-
have
Do we?
overnight.
Orientation?
Is that
Yeah.
cat out of the bag?
Is that the flight?
You know, it's
Can't-
out of
no.
the bag somewhat for students that go and actually try to sign up for orientation.
Okay.
So thank you, Xavier.
All right.
And trying
Meow.
to sign your daughter up for orientation. Yeah.
Well, I know.
You talk about it. I'll share my opinion, but yeah.
Well, we will be hosting both one day and overnight orientations. I don't know that it matters. I think it really depends on you, you, the mom, the parent, and the student. I believe you get the same greatness from either the overnighter or the day orientation. To me, I think one of the great things about coming to KSU doing the ignition orientation is that you get to see and hear and taste, if you will, everything. And you just get more exposure to that if you do it over the weekends. Ultimately, it's up to you. I don't think you lose anything if you just come to the day one versus the weekend, or overnight, if you will. You want to add to that?
Yeah, this is our first year for doing overnight orientations here at KSU. You can imagine we have the second largest incoming freshman class of any university in the state of Georgia. We might. Where's some wood? It's not wood,
Nope.
but no, I knew it wasn't wood.
Use your head.
What'd you say?
I did that.
Yeah, see.
I'm about to separate you two.
I know, right?
We may have the largest incoming freshman class this year. That's what we're shooting for. But it's a very exciting summer for orientation because we are going to do overnight sessions. So I completely agree with Salasic. It's totally up to you. But hey, maybe a great year to try it out. You get to probably engage a little bit more because you are going to spend the night. You've probably already seen housing. If you haven't, come for a campus tour. We'll show you housing, or come for open house. Yep, and you get to tour through housing as well. But if not, that's a great way too to spend your first night on campus.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Vernon Smith wants to know. Vernon. Really?
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Vermon's a strong name.
Strong Southern.
Yeah.
Vernon.
Do we offer anything for widows to be able to afford going back to college?
Excellent
Specifically for
question.
widows.
That's a great question. If you're over the age of 62, then yes, we do. We do. You can get free tuition to go to school. But really, we would have to, Jacinta may know more than I do, but we would want to get you in touch with our financial aid office and start that conversation there. I don't know of anything specific to being a widow or a widower that would qualify you for a scholarship or some sort of institutional grant right off the top of my head. But we'd love to get you in touch with financial aid and see if they have any resources available.
I agree, because I don't have anything off the top of my head that I know of, but financial aid, once again, they're fantastic, and they would answer that question.
Yeah. And so sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
Okay. Monica from Cumming
Hi, Monica.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this the
Up
same
and
Second
coming.
question.
Is this-
Yeah,
Is this
she
the
did
same
say
Monica?
with a second question.
Okay, perfect.
She did say her son did not get an email about the drop-in day for advising, but it's from admissions,
It's
right?
from
So
admissions,
let's
yeah.
clarify that, and
Yeah.
then she.
Heads up, it's called
Yeah.
Who's an Owl Day. It will be called Accepted Student Drop-In Day, but we tried to be funny on the front end and cutesy. Who's an Owl Day? Just look for that email. Your student should look for that email. You may be checking. Didn't she have a son? Is it a son?
Yeah, and,
That's what I
and
thought.
there's more to her question too.
Nice.
So, and he's in honors doing computer science.
Hey, rock and roll.
Congratulations. Nice.
And
Very
who
nice.
should he contact to schedule a pre-orientation advising session?
You mean who should he
Right.
contact? Sorry.
Woo, should he? So he could, if he wanted to, he can have a conversation with us in University College Advising Services. Phew. UCAS, or he could make an appointment with his honors advisor. We're in the same location, if you will, area, honors advising and University College Advising Services, UCAS, Willingham Hall, room 202. He can make an appointment with us in UCAS or make an appointment with his honor advisor.
Yeah, and shoot an email to honors
At
at
Kennesaw.edu.
Kennesaw.edu. That's very, very simple. Honors at Kennesaw.edu.
Emmanuel wants to know, do we offer any courses over the summer for engineering students?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not exactly sure what type of courses, Emmanuel, you're looking for, but we will be offering engineering courses over the summer.
Okay. And if they give us more info.
Yes.
We'll
So,
circle back.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Do you have a question for
I
them?
was going to
Jacinta?
say, Emmanuel, are you asking for like a summer camp for engineering students? Are you asking because you currently have been accepted and you want to get a head start on like a pre-engineering class? Like, give us a little bit more detail of what you're asking.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Paula wants to know how long it will take for her to get an answer on her application. So can we just repeat our wait time right now?
So right now we are about at 3 to 4 weeks from the last document we received. So as a traditional incoming freshman, the 3 things that we will need are 4, depending on if you're a dual enrolled student. We will need your application, which you do online through GA Futures. We'll need official SAT or ACT scores. Those have to come directly from the testing agency. And then we need your high school transcript. That usually can come from the high school counselor. They can mail those, or through GA Futures. If you are a dual enrolled student, we have to have the college transcript which you were recently dual enrolled at. So those 3 or 4 things we will need. And once we receive that last document, whichever one it is, it'll be a 3 to 4 week turnaround decision time from that date. But if you have questions, of course, you can always email me. Once again, my email is jluster3@kennesaw.edu.
I want to address the engineering question. Just as an example, you can't search right now for our summer courses. That option will be up very soon. But just as an example of what we offered last summer, and I'm going to be honest, from the meetings that I'm in, I'm anticipating more engineering courses offered this summer. We're going to have more courses across the institution offered this summer. But just as an example, there was engineering mechanics statistics last summer. Engineering mechanics dynamics, machine dynamics and vibrations, strength of materials, that sounds cool. Strength of materials lab, where you do your lab work. Project management for engineers, project cost analysis, engineering economic analysis, fluid mechanics, that's really cool. Just tons and tons. Nuclear engineering, sheesh. Engineering ethics, so you're ethical in your engineering. There you go. That's just a smattering of what we offered last summer.
Smattering.
Yeah, you know.
I like it.
Yeah. Liberal arts background, smattering.
Okay.
Don't know other words.
But I know smattering.
Okay, we have another question from Gianni. Do some of the scholarships cover housing, meal plans, and books? So how can they spend their scholarship money?
Right. So when you log into the scholarship application, it actually will tell you or detail out what that scholarship money can be used towards. So whether that's only for your tuition or if it is for miscellaneous things like housing or books or things like that. So it'll detail that out, even though you're only doing one scholarship application before as you're looking through the different scholarships that we offer, because the one neat thing about our scholarship website is that you can do kind of a search down. So you can put in, I'm an incoming freshman, I'm interested in engineering, I am a first generation student, and then it'll detail out all the information about the scholarships that we offer. And then that scholarship will show you what the qualifications are and what it'll pay for. So, anything to add? Anybody?
I think that's great.
Okay.
Succinct.
Look at you.
All right.
So this question, maybe we just need to clarify. She says, are the questions pertaining to Marietta campus? But we just want you to know, like, all these are pertaining to both campuses. So
Yes, this is,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is all for, I think we just got on the engineering track because we've got a lot of questions about that. But any
Yeah.
major that you're interested in, you can choose from there.
Yeah, I always like to say, let me say that we have really two main campuses. I know that that's a misnomer, like the Lone Rangers. That was from an Airheads movie, 1994. Anyways, name of a band at that time. So we have two main campuses: Marietta campus, the Kennesaw campus. You can do everything you need to do on either campus.
Right.
We have two libraries. We have more libraries than that, but we have two main libraries. We have two recreation centers. We have two
halls.
two dining halls. That's right. Two student centers. So two game rooms. I mean, just the list goes on and on and on. So you, as a student majoring in something on the Marietta campus, you can fully do everything here. You never have to step foot on the Kennesaw campus if you don't want to, and then vice versa. But just as you've heard from both of these fine individuals, it's great to be on both campuses.
Yes.
This is your university. We're one university, so we want you to fully participate in the institution. We hear from students all the time about, I'm an engineering major, but I've got a great friend I met through one of my math classes that's actually up on the Kennesaw campus, majoring in exercise science, and we go to dinner together at the Commons, or we work out together here on the Marietta campus in the rec center, and we go to baseball games, which is up on the Kennesaw campus. So just back and forth all the time. And just as Jacinta talked about earlier, you can hop on Bob. You don't have to move your car. We have an app where you can actually see where the Bob buses are, and you can see where they're coming and going. And I think we're running at any given time. There's 11 or 12 total buses that are running, and they'll take you all over around campus, to the grocery store, to
the mall.
Walmart, to the mall. Yep, there you go. So,
Awesome.
Okay. Next question. For all grad questions, including like residency stuff, do we just want to refer them to grad? So let's
Yeah,
say that
yeah,
again. Let's
yeah.
address where graduate school questions can go.
Yes. So you can go to grad,
KSU grad,
at Kennesaw.edu. Yes.
Yeah, or graduate.kennesaw.edu.
We may need to
for
plan
the
a
website.
graduate
I know, that's what I'm
a
thinking.
Facebook Live.
Yes.
Give the people what they want.
Yes,
I'll
definitely.
I'll make a
Good
note.
questions, though.
Yeah.
Good
Noted.
questions.
Noted. Okay.
While you're looking up another question, I want to ask. We've been hammering some questions.
I know, this has been really
But
good.
I want to know, Solasik, why
Yes.
you do what you do. Other than to pay the bills,
Oh,
right?
phew,
Like,
okay.
took the answer.
Oops, sorry. I'm going now.
So why are you an academic advisor? How did you get into this, and what do you really love about being an academic advisor and what you do?
Long story short, short story long, how about that?
Yeah, I like that.
I used to work for Boys and Girls Clubs of America. And while working with Boys and Girls Clubs in Opelika, Alabama, that's where I'm from, I worked closely with the College of Education there. And I was the director of operations for our local Boys and Girls Clubs. The College of Education at that time would place practicum students in our clubs, and it was my job to oversee the practicum students, to work with them on program development, to work alongside the faculty members, if you will, on a little curriculum design for the whole placement. And so I really loved working with college students. Well, I graduated, and like everybody, I wanted to make money, so I went and started working at corporate. I worked for a Fortune 500 company as a project manager for about 6 years, and that was 6 years too long. I had the yearning to get back to work with college students, and I love working with them, the energy, the synergy, just being around them. I really love that. Went back and got my master's at Georgia Southern. After that, I applied for a job at Kennesaw State. I did my practicum at Kennesaw State in the Learning Communities Department. I met Dr. Chris Hutt. He and I had a conversation. I was on vacation and I got an email said, "Hey, we got this job. Would you be interested?" I said, "Absolutely." As soon as I take my bathing suit off and put my clothes on, I was at the beach. And so, long story short, I started working with Dr. Hutt in Advisement. It has been the best job I have ever had. Working with the students at KSU, I can't even put anything on that. It is one of those things that I love to do. It is one of those things that I wake up every day and I am blessed. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel blessed to be able to work with the students at KSU every day, and it's a blessing, you know. And I'm one of those people who really, really love what they do, and everyone can't say that. You know, I wake up in the morning, I was like, you know what? I'm about to change a life. You know, and I don't want to be spooky and philosophical, but I look at it that way. I approach it that way. I have a holistic advising philosophy. I want to advise the entire student, and not just for academics, you know, vocational, you know, extracurricular, experiential learning, all of those things, right, tied together, they make a great student. And I just want to be a part of it. I just want to be a part of it. So that's how I got here.
As you've noted, really, college is much more than just going to class.
Yes.
There's so many other things affecting college students today. And I love that you talked about approaching the holistic student.
Yeah.
Because that truly is advising, right?
Yeah.
You're probably advising more for life than you even are for classes.
The days are gone when students just want to know what to take.
Yeah.
I get, Mr. Spradlin, this is going on in my life. Mr. Spradlin, this is not going on with my life, and it's affecting my academics. What can I do about this? I get texts all through the night, right, about I'm having some issues, can you help? And I do help because I love doing it. You know, I really do love doing it. And so it is so much more than just saying, take these courses and go away, you know? It may be 3 minutes of that, but the rest of the 30 minutes is about, let's talk, let's rap, let's talk, let's chat. I mean, and those are the conversations that I really love. And those are the conversations that you're seeing throughout all advising departments across both campuses.
That's awesome.
Wonderful.
I'm
Okay.
I'm sold.
Sorry.
Yep.
I wanna
Me
be an
too. I
advisor.
got chill bumps back here. We have a couple more questions before we wrap it up. We've got about 10 minutes left.
Yes.
I know.
Oh.
I
Goes by
know.
fast.
It's flying. So I'll pick. We have several for housing. I see those. I'll get you those answers, like very specific for housing.
Nice.
So I'll get back to those.
Color is the wall in the bathroom. That's specific.
Here's one. What did you say?
Nothing, I'm sorry.
Okay. No,
I was
don't
not-
apologize.
I wasn't
It's
being
okay.
good.
Cheryl wants to know when you found out, or when will we find out if you've been admitted to the Honors College?
Ooh, Cheryl. Is Cheryl the student or Cheryl the mom?
From the FB pic, looks like the mom.
What up, Cheryl?
Don't be
Okay.
offended if you're not the mom, Cheryl.
I love the name. Yeah, sorry, Cheryl. I love the name Cheryl because we get to work with a very special Cheryl in our lives and admissions, Miss Cheryl. That's right. That's right. So I said,
If you're
Cheryl.
watching,
there you go.
mwah.
There you go. I would be shocked if Cheryl's chilling on Facebook right now
Like,
watching. But hey, if
not
you
so
are
much.
the other Cheryl, what's up? See you tomorrow. So honors. What's fantastic about honors is that, well, there's a lot of fantastic things, but when you apply to honors, as long as you've been admitted to the university, you apply to honors and complete your application. They're making decisions every week on students. So it depends on when you complete that application during the week. It may be that week you get a decision or the next week that you get a decision, but they are constantly making decisions on students. They meet as a committee, they read over your essay, look at your letter of rec, they read everything that's in your application as well as your admissions file, and then they're gonna release decisions to you. So Cheryl, if you're the mom, have your student
She's the
check.
mom.
Perfect, thanks. Have your student check his or her email, and then also I want to make sure that you're aware of, it sounds like you've already completed the app, so that's neither here nor there. Maybe you want to go and amend it if you didn't do this, or if your student didn't do this. But they have a big deadline coming up. It's February the 28th, and that is if you want to apply to PEGS, the President's Emerging Global Scholars Program. That's why we call it PEGS. So PEGS, awesome program. Or if you want to apply to the Great Books Program, then they have that early deadline of February the 28th. So make sure for people that may not have done what Cheryl, your student, has done, and they want to apply to honors, please apply now. You've got about 10 days. Well, 10 days. Hey, I do have a degree in math.
Honors last Facebook Live.
Yeah, that's right.
So you can go back and watch
So you
that.
can go back and watch
You're so
it.
smart.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like we have time for maybe one or two
Way
more
more
questions. This one, do you guys need proof of residency in order to get an admissions decision?
No.
No? Okay.
No. We can answer yes.
What's the best way for non-accredited homeschoolers to apply?
Ooh.
You want me to take that one?
Sure.
Okay, so if you are a home educated student, we have what's called a home educated portfolio that you will have to complete. So there will be letters of recommendation that we will need. You will have to submit what we call a college preparatory curriculum sheet that you will fill out. You'll also let us know exactly what those courses will look like. Let us know what extracurricular activities, I think I already said that. And then there's a few other pieces that we will need in that portfolio. But just know you don't have to commit to what I'm saying to memory, because if you go to admissions.kennesaw.edu and you go to our undergraduate admission page, over to the left it'll be student types, and you can choose home educated students. If you have questions, once again, you can contact me. You can also contact Derek Manley, who is our Assistant Director for Guest Services, and he also handles homeschool students, and we can let you know if you're missing something out of your packet if you submitted that to us, but we can definitely go over individual questions when it comes to your homeschool packet.
Just to clarify, click on Freshmen.
Freshmen,
On
sorry.
the admissions website,
Yes.
and then you'll see Home Educated
Educated.
in the middle of the screen. It's
Lots
a big
of
drop
step.
down.
Yeah.
It's,
Lots of steps. That's
yeah,
okay.
it's
Okay. Denise from earlier.
Hi, Denise.
Denise.
I feel like you, Denise.
She wants to know if all freshmen have to buy a meal plan. What about commuter students?
Oh, freshmen, what about community
So
students?
It's a freshman commuting,
okay.
I'm guessing.
So if you
Two
are
and two.
if you are living on campus here at Kennesaw State, whether Kennesaw or Marietta, you're required to have a meal plan. If you decide you're going to live off campus, maybe because you want to stay close to home that first year, you are not required to have a meal plan. But why would you want to miss out on some amazing food? So you can opt into a meal plan. You can opt into a meal plan at Kennesaw or at Marietta. So at Kennesaw, it's the Commons, and Marietta, it's Stingers. But you can opt into it, but you're not required to have a meal plan if you don't live on campus.
And you can use your dining on either campus, doesn't
Yes.
Okay. Housing. Do we know when they can sign up for roommates?
matter. I think they're going to do that in April. I think if I remember what Chris said sometime back. So Chris Bruno. Yeah, look back. When was that? In November?
Yeah,
December.
December?
Or
Sure.
it would have been November,
Yeah,
and then it
Jordan's
opened
smart.
December
November.
3rd. Yeah, Jordan's smart.
November, yeah, my mind still works a little. November, we had a whole session on housing and orientation. So check that Facebook Live out. Go back and watch it. Because Chris talked about that, I think, towards the end. But I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah.
April when they start doing matching. But also you can, can't you go in there and just pick your
Yeah, you can.
roommate
so
right
Yeah,
now?
you'll
lots of
create-
questions about roommates.
Yeah, so you
Elaborate
create
a little
your
bit there.
profile, and they will, if you don't have someone that you already know that you want to room with and you guys want to pick that same unit, then you will create a profile and then they'll start matching students with the best roommate pick. But definitely, I want to say April, like you guys said, but we can get that answer for you guys. We'll let you know.
Okay.
Do you have any roommate stories?
I don't have any roommate
Let me-
stories.
I don't have any good ones.
No, yeah, see, there you go. Yeah. Let me tell you, I still love my freshman year roommate. We ended up rooming together about 2.5 years, well, actually 3.5 years. Sorry, Joel. But we were really good friends in high school, not really good friends after freshman year. So Yeah.
Be careful.
Yeah. Don't go in
But
with
that's
your best.
why we
don't-
have the housing portal and why we have that matching service to make sure that you're put with the best roommate if you don't know someone. So we can
yeah.
avoid Joel's.
We made
Sorry,
up.
Joel.
We both grew up. He's a professor now.
There you
He's a
go.
real smart guy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's cool.
All right, let me fire off a few quick ones. SAT requirement.
All right.
it's
So
great.
SAT, 490 math, 25 reading test score.
That was quick. Okay. Okay. Next, fall application deadline for housing.
You stopped me.
It closes. Does it close?
No, technically.
Technically not, but it's like as early as you
housing
can.
will stay open until
Yeah.
they are full.
Yeah. So ASAP.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
ASAP.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do it
ASAP.
as soon
Yeah.
as you can.
Now,
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yesterday.
You have to be accepted.
Okay. Hello from Villa Rica. I
What
will.
up?
That's
VR?
Hannah.
Oh.
Hannah.
Hi, Hannah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
That's my niece's name. That's a great name.
Cool.
Yes. Okay. She'll be a freshman honors student in the fall, majoring in theater.
Welcome.
Is it
All
best
right.
to get that advice? Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I'm stumping your artistic.
Clearly, I have got you comfortable.
Yes.
So, okay.
She's
it
just
out.
dismissed us for
Right.
extremely cliche.
It is 8:00.
Shakespeare.
Come on, I want to see
Okay.
it.
No, I'm good.
No, it's too late. The moment's passed. Okay. So, is it best to get advisement from the TPS department before orientation?
Yes, right? If you already know your major, theater, it just makes great sense to meet with a TPS advisor so that you can know exactly what's required of you coming in. So, absolutely. However, if you were kind of vacillating between theater and maybe mechatronics engineering, come and have a conversation with me and UCAS.
Nice.
Perfect. Okay. So, lastly, we'll just give a shout out to Jeffrey from Savannah. He's an MBA student.
Hey.
Yep. And that'll do it. So let's send it off.
All
It's
right.
8:00.
Yeah.
You want to close with allies?
Allies, all right,
All
here
right.
we
Let's
go.
do it.
We got to connect them.
Connect the
How are we
allies.
going to connect? Oh,
We didn't prep this.
No,
We
we
didn't
didn't
prep it.
prep.
We didn't
Yay!
prep it.